See. Why losing American Idol is better than winning, by my boy Patrick CC. Let's go.
They thought winning American Idol would make them superstars.
Shout out Tori Kelly. Sorry I paused it this early. Shout out Tori Kelly. Tori Kelly lost American Idol and she became a beast.
Hits on the Billboard charts, fans around the world, and a long career in the music industry. But for most, it was actually harder to have a successful career after winning the competition.
Yep.
Almost like it was a curse. Today we're going to talk about...
That's the same curse with the Grammys. Sorry, I paused it again. That's the same curse with the Grammys when you win Best New Artist and then your career just...
the American Idol winners who failed to become the mainstream icons they were promised to be, starting with Taylor Hicks, who won during the highest viewed, highest rated season of all time, had a #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100, but it did not secure him a superstar career. Taylor Hicks had basically none of the traditional qualities to become the next American Idol. Hicks was nearly 30 years old, even though he looked 40 due to his matted gray hair, plus that would have made him the oldest winner in the show's history at that point. He was awkward, dressed poorly, and gave off goofy divorced dad vibes.
No way he doing a Carlton.
That Hicks wasn't even planning on trying out. He was actually evacuating Louisiana due to Hurricane Katrina and visiting family in Vegas where American Idol was hosting auditions.
I was one of the last cab rides out of Hurricane Katrina. That's kind of how I got to American Idol.
That's crazy.
I went right to the airport and flew to Las Vegas on a whim. I got to the airport in Vegas and my brother called and said, American Idol tryouts are in 45 minutes. So I went from the airport and I went with the backpack and I stood in line and everybody was asking me where my kids were that were auditioning.
When he got the chance to perform, judges Paula Abdul and Randy Jackson really liked him. Simon Cowell, who is known for being hard to please, didn't see the vision.
This is a guy who should be singing background.
Wait a minute. Do we think Simon is actually onto something? Because like he low-key hates every person who's ever won American Idol, and then their career just flops. Wait, but then again, he did say Tori Kelly was trash, and then, yeah, I don't know.
But every time Taylor Hicks got to take the stage, he was eliminating the doubts in his opposers' heads. He started styling his hair to look cleaner, started dressing to actually look presentable, and remained consistent with the same soulful tone that the audience loved. He even won over Simon, who was his harshest critic throughout the season.
Because he looked just like him.
So far and away your best performance so far.
However, most people looked past Taylor because they were convinced that the winner of season 5 was going to be Chris Daughtry. Chris's epic rock covers allowed him to storm through the competition, landing him in the final 4. But for some reason, during the final 4, Chris Daughtry and Katharine McPhee were facing elimination because they had the least amount of votes. Even Simon Cowell thought Katharine didn't deserve to move forward. Despite everyone preying on Katharine's downfall, Chris Daughtry was the one who was eliminated, and everyone around the world was shocked. This moment and Adam Lambert being the runner-up were the dumbest AI moments ever. This is when I stopped watching American Idol. What made this moment even more shocking in hindsight was that this was American Idol's highest rated and most watched season in history. Season 1's winner was Kelly Clarkson. Season 4 was Carrie Underwood. Chris Daughtry was the
Kelly Clarkson did have a good, successful... No, she didn't. If we're really thinking about it, Kelly Clarkson only had a few good songs and then she disappeared. Carrie Underwood, same thing, bro. Few good songs, disappeared.
Perfect successor to those two massive superstars. So when he lost, the bottom 3 being Katharine McPhee, Elliot Yamin, and Taylor Hicks seemed incredibly lackluster. 36.4 million people tuned in to watch Taylor Hicks become the winner of season 5, and he did see the benefits of winning on that massive platform. His debut single, Do I Make You Proud, secured the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, which is an incredibly rare achievement that even a lot of mainstream stars will never achieve in their careers. But this song is just bad, so it dropped off the charts quickly. He also published a memoir called Heart Full of Soul after receiving a massive book deal for his story. Hicks also released his debut album the same year as his win, which reached #2 on the Billboard 200. However, even with all the hype, the book deals, and the chart-topping music, sales for his album didn't reach expectations.
I mean, even then, that nigga still has to be rich, right? Wait, no, because with albums, don't they give you the money in advance and you have to pay it back with your album sales, and it kind of works like that? That's what a 360 deal is.
According to NBC, the disc slid down the charts. While it sold a respectable 699,000 copies,
Damn.
according to Nielsen's SoundScan data, it did not reach the 1 million mark, unlike all the other previous debuts from previous Idol champs. It also did not register a hit song, unlike other Idol winners. Now, it
Damn.
might seem strange that this was considered a disappointment, as a #1 single and 699,000 copies is...
Before we had Apple Music, I wouldn't say iTunes. When was iTunes? That was 2006, right? iTunes was around. We was using LimeWire though. In GTA.
like a phenomenal achievement in today's world. But you have to remember that this was peak American Idol, where the expectation was that somebody was going to become a cultural superstar. So based on his performance, the label dropped him immediately. Chris Daughtry, on the other hand, has been a non-stop success since his loss in the top 4. While Hicks's album struggled to meet the sales Arista Records hoped for, Chris had formed a band after his own last name, Daughtry, releasing their first album in 2007. The combination of
And he's
much
still
better
successful?
music and a little bit of an underdog story after losing the competition, Daughtry's debut album was the fastest selling rock debut album in SoundScan history. The record was nominated for 4 Grammy Awards and won 4 American Music Awards, alongside 7 Billboard Music Awards, including Album of the Year. They had 2 singles, Home and It's Not Over, reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and
Fire.
are far more memorable and recognizable despite technically seeing a lower chart position than Taylor Hicks's #1 single. From there, Daughtry's subsequent albums, Leave This Town, Break the Spell, and Baptized have all... From there, Daughtry's subsequent albums, Leave This Town, Break the Spell,
Oh my god. I have seen this album cover. Wow. I never knew this.
and Baptized have all gone
I never
platinum,
knew
with
this.
Cage to Rattle going certified gold. In 2021, the band released their record Dearly Beloved, with singles World on Fire, Heavy as the Crown, and Changes Are Coming all cracking the top 10. Even their
Wow.
more recent work, like their song The Dam, is a fan favorite, reaching almost 4 million views on YouTube. Whenever Daughtry
Wow.
fans look back on what happened in season 5, they can't help but laugh. Chris's success after losing the show has been so massive that it's led many to forget who Taylor Hicks was in the first
I don't
place.
even know who he
Fast
is.
forward to now, Chris Daughtry is a superstar and Taylor Hicks is... Wait, who's Taylor Hicks? Today, when Chris looks back
Damn.
on the show, he always seems pretty indifferent about the whole thing. When asked about whether or not he secretly wishes that he won American Idol, he says, "No, I don't know how it could have gotten any better. We sold almost 6 million records, so I'm not sure where the title makes that any better." Unfortunately
Facts.
for Taylor Hicks, he will always be remembered as the first American Idol contestant to fade almost immediately after the show was over. He never had
Damn,
another
Taylor.
platinum or gold album. He never charted again. He currently sits at 19,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Which isn't terrible if you really think about it. I think social media skews people's perspectives, because if you really look at this in terms of social media, yeah, sure, maybe he's not like groundbreaking, right? But like, imagine 18,295 people in a room right fucking now, in your bedroom right now.
Spotify and 25,000 followers on Instagram. He still does seem to do music full time though, playing small shows, primarily performing cover songs. But because of this, he often stands as the primary example for how winning the show can sometimes be less of a gift and more of a curse, which is definitely true for Chris Allen, whose victory is so controversial that it arguably helped the career of someone he
All right, I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. I didn't watch a lot of seasons of American Idol.
beat.
I don't think I've really even watched a full season, if I'm being honest.
But his win also made American Idol viewers question if the singing competition was fair or if the voting system was even real. During season 8, Chris Allen had the perfect strategy to actually gain real fans of his personal artistry through the show. Because you have to remember that American Idol contestants are not performing original music that they wrote and recorded. They're doing covers of already famous, well-known, and well-loved songs. So there's always this subconscious comparison going on where the viewer is comparing their version of a song to the song that
the
they
original.
love. So it's like, yeah, they could do a good job, but you could also be like, yeah, it was cool, but like, I like the original better. And that kind of warps your perspective of like how talented or untalented this person can be. But ironically, that's what
a
an
fact.
artist is supposed to do to gain real fans, right? Like they want to develop their own unique sound, unique style. So while a lot of previous American Idol contestants were these objectively talented and technically proficient singers, Chris Allen would transform pop songs and ballads into a piece with an original tone resembling his own folky style, something that was much closer to how his
Is it called Flame on Fire? You know that punk band that did the punk remix of XO Tour Life? I think they're called Flame on Fire or Fire on, I don't remember, but they amazing.
Personal music sounded. Chris had this personable demeanor and never appeared to be cocky about how well he performed on stage. However, the judges felt like he had been relying too heavily on his guitar to compensate for weaker vocals. So in an attempt to prove them wrong, he performed without an instrument, singing Bob Dylan's Make You Feel My Love, which got him a standing ovation from the audience and a ton of compliments from Simon Cowell.
That, in a way, probably is the
Oh, it's not Flame on Fire, it's Fame on Fire. These guys here. That's all I'm gonna play because I don't know if this is gonna be copyrighted.
first time I've actually heard you perform where I genuinely am beginning to think you've actually got a shot at doing really well at this competition.
With all the praise, this was becoming a dream come true for Chris, but there was one massive problem standing in his way: Adam Lambert. Adam wasn't just good, he was a rock star. Week after week, he delivered electrifying performances that blew everyone else off the stage. His presence felt unstoppable, which can be perfectly summarized through a short clip of him performing I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. This guy is not in competition. He was having his concert every week. When it came to American Idol, this made for some amazing television. Adam was an unorthodox performer who was extremely eccentric and loud, while Chris was considered the laid-back, humble guy you'd love to have a beer with. They even had them live in the same room while taping the season, where Lambert had nothing but positive things to say about Chris.
It creates a really good dynamic. Like, he's just really mellow, and he can like fall asleep at the drop of a hat. I don't know how he does it. I toss and turn.
I do it.
But he's on the other side of the room in his bed, and he's like, "Okay, good night," and he's out. He usually ends every night. He goes outside and he makes a phone call to his wife. He's a really cool cat, so it's really great to share a living space with him. He keeps me cool.
Fans appreciated the relationship that the two cultivated throughout the show, and when it came down to just them two in the final, fans didn't want to see either of them go.
Do you think you did it? You think you'll take that title tomorrow night? Me and Adam, we said we weren't competing. We're just coming out to give a good show tonight. So.
And in the end, Chris Allen was voted to be the Season 8 winner. But unfortunately, the biggest scandal in American Idol history was about to haunt Chris's path to success forever.
Shit.
In case you're unaware of the American Idol format, a big part of what made the show so exciting was the ability to vote for your favorite performer. After each song, a phone number would be presented to the live crowd and viewers at home. AT&T was the largest corporate sponsor and set up the gateway for fans to be able to send a text message to an abbreviated number, such as Idols 01, so the viewers determined who moved forward throughout the competition. They also had the ability to call a phone number to vote or vote online. However, every single year there were claims that the votes were unfair or possibly rigged. During the night of the Season 8 finale, when Chris Allen faced off with Adam Lambert, a watch party was organized where up to 2,000 people attended. According to the New York Times, the AT&T employees gave instructions to partygoers on how to send power texts, at least 10 messages with just one click. Rules allow for only AT&T subscribers to text vote. Basically, the AT&T employees at this party taught the attendees how they could vote for Chris 10 times with the press of one button, expanding their reach and essentially cheating so Chris could win. Bobby Kierna, one of the 2,000 guests who attended one of the events, told reporters that she had voted for Allen 10,840 times in the AT&T texting zone that had been set up there. When asked for a comment, AT&T replied that they got caught up in the enthusiasm of rooting for their hometown contestant. They brought a small number of demo phones with them and provided texting tutorials to those who were interested. Despite literally admitting to cheating, they also tried to reassure that this activity did not impact the outcome because it was quite a leap to suggest that a few individuals could have impacted the final results.
AT&T.
The television network Fox said that they were absolutely certain that the results of the competition are fair, accurate, and verified.
That's cap. How are they verified and fair when they just said that they brought out demo phones to vote?
This scandal would forever be known as Textgate, and to fans, Adam Lambert got
Bro, you just add gate to the end of anything?
got screwed out of the victory. Chris Allen later responded to the scandal saying, "I think it could have gone either way, and America couldn't have gotten it wrong. I never watched American Idol, and even I was mad that he lost. I don't think Adam really cares about the fact that he lost American Idol anyway. He's become way more successful than Chris Allen." Chris did have a strong start after winning the competition. His debut single, Live Like We're Dying, peaked at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and achieved platinum status with almost 2 million combined sales. It's more than most artists could ever dream of. But regardless of the Idol win and successful single, his self-titled album only sold about 80,000 copies, and the lackluster sales performance caused him to suffer the same fate as Taylor Hicks, fading into irrelevance. Meanwhile, Adam Lambert, who lost the competition, is still a worldwide success. He has well over 1 billion streams on all
Oh, I guess I don't know his songs.
platforms.
There's another person named Lambert something that made that one song that's like, hi ho, hey ho. Ah, fucking forgot, bro.
Holds 2 million
Let me look at.
monthly listeners on Spotify, and has done the seemingly impossible job of standing in for Freddie Mercury as the frontman of Queen, which is one of the most legendary bands in rock and roll history. And while he is no Freddie, he is still damn good. These days, Chris Allen avoids questions about TextGate altogether, but he personally admits that his own career has had its ups and downs.
I think those people that started out with me then and then have come through the journey, I know who they are, their faces. I won't say a lot of their names, but I know some of their names, and they mean the world because they've gone through the journey with me and gone through like ups, downs, hard times, playing shows for 15,000 people and then also playing shows for 15 people. And those people mean the world, and I would say they've always been there.
Chris Allen is also commonly associated with the white guys with guitars trend that plagued American Idol, because the winners of season 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 were all white guys who played guitar. Now, the problem people seem to have with that is letting contestants play instruments allowed artists with average voices to move up in the final rounds, while objectively better vocalists unfairly lost. It could be safe to assume that after 5 seasons of repetition that American Idol producers wanted a different winner due to diversity or just simply being tired of the predictable outcome. Candice Glover finally broke the WGWG rhythm, and she seemed to have everything going good for her, but made one crucial mistake that took her out of the spotlight. Candice Glover refused to give up on the American Idol dream. She auditioned several times over the course of 4 years, experiencing 2 extremely tough losses. For example, when auditioning for the 9th season, Glover forgot the lyrics to her chosen song, Chasing Pavements by Adele. The response from Simon Cowell was brutal. He actually called her nothing more than a lounge singer before sending her home, but Candice appeared to handle it with grace.
That's fucked up.
Nobody likes to hear anything like that. Like, nobody likes to hear, like, well, you're not going to be this or you're not going to be that. And at the time, you know, he was Simon, so I just kind of went with it. I was like, okay, well, if Simon said it, then. But after a while, I was like, no, I can't just, you know, stop.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I cannot find the song, and I've like been missing what Patrick has been saying. I am so sorry.
There, and so that's why I skipped a year and took a year off to kind of get myself together, came back again.
Unfortunately, Candice missed the cut once again in Las Vegas for the 11th season, in a moment where she was visibly crushed. However, she spent that time thinking about what she was doing wrong, and she started to believe that she just wasn't being her true self.
Because last year I didn't really know who I wanted to be as an artist.
Is that the song I'm thinking about? I mean, sorry. I'm trying to figure it out, bro. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Artist, but this year I'm coming back completely.
I don't even know the words of the damn thing. That's the melody though.
Candice, and I want everyone to see what I do, not what I think everyone else wants.
And this again highlights one of the main fundamental flaws with American Idol. Contestants aren't performing their own music. They're performing other people's songs. Week after week, they're judged on how well they can imitate greatness or put a slightly unique spin on it, not create it. It's easy for audiences to recognize a powerful voice or a
Tori
flawless
Kelly
performance, but it's nearly impossible to fall in love.
Patrick, I swear if you don't talk about Tori Kelly in this video, bro, I swear if you don't talk about Tori Kelly in this video, bro.
Love with an artist when you've never heard their original work. But there was no denying that Candace was technically talented, and during season 12 she finally got a real shot to perform on the big stage. Her cover of Love Song by The Cure made such an impression on the judges that Keith Urban started bowing, and Mariah Carey walked up to her and dropped the mic for her, which is one of the biggest compliments she could have got. However, after becoming the season 12 winner, Candace made a key strategic decision that destroyed her chances at becoming a household name. Normally, after a contestant wins, it's a priority to get an album out as soon as possible. Now imagine this pressure for a minute. Every week you are preparing a new performance to compete on a show that is broadcast to tens of millions of people, and you have to use whatever free time you have to write, perform, produce, and record an entire album hoping that you win, and then market that album to those millions of potential fans. Candace was seemingly more prepared than ever, as she was actually the first American Idol winner to put her debut album, Music Speaks, and her single, I Am Beautiful, available for early pre-order. That way, if people happen to search her up during American Idol tapings, they can actually purchase her work in advance. The season 12 finale took place on May 16, 2013, and Candace Glover was announced the winner. After the big win, these artists will get some talk show interviews and a ton of press to roll out their project. 2 months after the win, when it came time to release her album in July, Candace's work wasn't ready, causing her and her label to push the date to October.
Oh no.
But when
now the only famous Glover is Danny and Donald.
that came around, it still wasn't ready, so then they pushed it back again to February the next year, delaying the album about a total of 9 months after the competition. Even for an already established artist, pushing back an album nearly 1 year will kill all hype and excitement. But for a recent American Idol winner, this was arguably a death sentence for a prominent career. When Music Speaks was finally released, it had a decent chart performance, but it was only temporary. To make matters worse, Glover told NBC News in 2017 that because of a miscommunication between the singer's label and iTunes, everybody that pre-ordered her album the night of her win got a blank album to their phones. She added that because of the mishap, people missed out on the opportunity to get her actual album when it did come out the following year. She did not regret appearing on American Idol, but the music that was released following her win was not her creative vision. The singer even took a break after the release, embarrassed by a flop that she felt was completely out of her control, going dark on social media. That definitely affected me, and by me not really posting on social media and stuff, definitely when you're not letting people know what you do every day, you kind of lose that audience. And all of this highlights the key problem with American Idol. When you win, there's no slow climb to the top, no small failures along the way to learn from. You go from being on a singing competition where you have to perform other people's songs to instantly being in that same mainstream limelight, but now it's your music that you have to present to the world. And even if you stumble or have a small mishap, your expectation to these millions of people is that you're polished, you're ready to go. You won American Idol, right? You have everything in order, you have everything in check, so there should be no stumble, no mishap, no mistakes. But unfortunately, that's just not reality. The same people who crowned you a superstar will just shrug and move on to the next season's winner. Candace did not fail because she lacked talent. American Idol doesn't teach you how to grow as an artist. It throws you on the top of the mountain and expects you to already know how to breathe. And despite not becoming a household name, Candace shared that the experience still allowed her to do some pretty cool things in the entertainment industry.
I perform all the time, mostly overseas. I travel. Performing is my favorite thing ever to do.
Overseas will usually have like a more loyal fan base, which is crazy.
And so after I put out my album and did Broadway for a little while, I got to work with Hallmark on a few Christmas movies actually. But yeah, definitely changed my life for the better.
But after Candace's win, American Idol fans seemed to go back to voting for white guys with guitars again. But Caleb Johnson did something that had never been seen in American Idol history before. Unfortunately, it did not help him become the rock star he thought he was. Caleb Johnson was determined to get on American Idol, auditioning 3 times in 4 years. But remember, Idol is reality TV at the end of the day, and the producers need a good story. Caleb came back with a...
Exactly. I was just about to bring that up too. That's the reason why most of the time the really good singers usually don't win, because they're trying to push out a great story at the same time. They're trying to have somebody who has a great story win the competition.
Rockstar attitude, literally calling some of the other contestants pussies.
Just a bunch of
Reword that.
Caleb's remarks didn't fit the typical language used on American Idol, but for many, this was a refreshing departure from the family-friendly vibes of most other promising contestants. People felt that he matched the archetype of the irreverent rock star, unable to filter his thoughts when he was passionate or cracking jokes. But on stage, one of the performances that sent him to the next level was his cover of Skyfall by Adele. It was a key moment that proved to the judges he was open to trying new things, as Skyfall was normally considered an effeminate cover that men stayed away from. When he reached the top 10, he performed Dazed and Confused by Led Zeppelin.
Oh my god, look at the Google thing, bro. Remember when... A lot of y'all probably don't even remember this shit.
And as he battled bronchitis,
the old Instagram logo,
and a hemorrhaged vocal
first ever Instagram
nothing
logo
was going to prevent Caleb from achieving his goal. And on top of that, people loved his authenticity.
Stay true to what I said from the beginning. I really just wanted to stay on my path. I'll just tell the future Caleb, have fun, keep that passion and that drive alive, and stay true to New York.
It looked like his path to victory was basically guaranteed. However, his reckless words got him in hot waters. During the top 5 elimination red carpet interview, Caleb used a harsh term to describe the people online that demanded what songs he should sing.
Has your opinion of social media changed since being on American Idol?
Yeah, it gives access to a bunch of retards to talk to me, and I don't really...
I think this is when that word like really started to be like, yo, that's taboo, bro. Whoa, why was my hand so white? What the
enjoy having to see somebody tell me what song I need to sing.
While this might have been a small slip on other forms of reality TV, the derogatory term on a show like American Idol was a big mistake, and a lot of people felt like this would be the moment where he'd be voted off the show. Wow, I guess we'll say goodbye to him next week. Wow, this completely changes my perspective on him. Goodbye, Caleb. To save...
You think a rock star who called his fellow people pussies wouldn't ever say that word? I mean, I call people pussies sometimes when I'm playing Rivals, but I would never say the R word. I call them Riri. I don't know, bro.
And give context.
I don't say Riri often, but like I don't say the actual word. I would say Riri instead. I don't know, bro.
Caleb was quick to give an apology letter to fans. For the record, that juvenile comment I made in the interview was not directed towards my fans, but to the...
Wait a minute. YouTube channels abandoned for disturbing reasons. Cops find missing teen's body in soldier's bedroom.
Wackos that send hundreds of hate messages a day to me. He wrote, "You guys are amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. Sorry if it offended anybody. It was the wrong choice of words. Also, I greatly appreciate it when you guys give me song suggestions, but it gets really overwhelming at the volume it comes in. So please understand. Rock on." Luckily for Caleb, this was just a minor setback, and ultimately he won season 13 of American Idol. But unfortunately, this was the peak of his career, as the curse of winning was beginning to kick in. He said the week after the show ended, "I flew all over the place and did a press run. Immediately after that, I flew back to LA and started working on the record. I wrote 12 or 13 songs. Out of those, we picked 8 to put on the record. We were really trying to push it and not have every song be a riff rock song. Every song would incorporate those elements but show different flavors. And not just that, but show my talent as a writer too. But things did not go as well as Caleb had hoped. His single Testify peaked at number 24, but...
I mean, look at that album cover, bro. I mean, look at this. This is horrible, bro. Even for the time, this is horrible.
Sales of his debut album were devastatingly low, selling just 11,000 copies.
2014.
He also announced
2014, and you jumping out with a fucking album cover that looked like fucking early 2000s. Nah, bro.
To join a different record label after struggling to find support with Interscope, saying, "I want to get a deal with a new label that's actually going to support me. I want to find the right home and the right team of people that are going to get behind my music and really do something. What's the point of doing it if the label isn't going to do anything?" From here, Caleb struggled for almost 2 years to get his career moving. He felt trapped by the show and even opened up about how the contracts he had to sign throughout the process kept him from exploring alternatives that would have helped him succeed. The show Idol got canceled on Fox like 2 years after I won, so all the contracts were null and void. The management company shut down, they went bankrupt, and I went like, hallelujah, and that was it. I was a new man. Despite that, Caleb has seen little success with his original music, as he sits at just 6,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. However, today he is currently...
Oof, his most popular song is an American Idol's performance.
Currently touring with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, who often sell out arenas all over the country. He just seems to be happy that he escaped being attached to the reality TV show. After the ratings declined, American Idol was canceled by Fox in 2016, and then revived by ABC 2 years later with judges
Richie,
Luke Bryan,
Lionel
Richie, and Carrie Underwood. The ratings are relatively stable, but the show still has a lasting reputation for getting...
Okay, did Carrie Underwood get Botox and lip fillers? Because I swear to God, she did not look like this.
It wrong.
Sorry, Lord.
It seems like it's better for American Idol contestants to be a runner-up rather than an actual winner. Non-winners like Clay Aiken, Chris Daughtry, Jennifer Hudson, Adam Lambert, and David Archuleta have proven losing might actually be the best thing that can happen.
Freaking Kelly.
Non-winners like Clay Aiken, Chris Daughtry, Jennifer Hudson,
Jennifer Hudson was on that shit?
Lambert and David Archuleta have proven losing might actually be the best thing that can happen on American Idol. They are an underdog that compels the audience to support them harder. And
I knew it. I knew it. Look at this. Lip fillers, Botox. I knew it. I think she also got eye surgery, bro. Yeah, I think she did that thing where they like open up your eyelids so even when you smile, you're still... Yeah, that's crazy, Carrie.
Maybe that's why American Idol feels cursed, because winning traps you in the spotlight the show created for you, but losing lets you step into the spotlight you create for yourself.
Oh, W pathetic. W pathetic.